Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gray Hall, Nydia Hahn, and meteorologist Chris Sowers.
The big story on Action News is the AccuWeather Alert 2017 ending with a bang. We are going from very cold to even colder. The wind is whipping, making it feel like it's in the single digits, even below zero in some spots. Sky 6 HD taking a live look right now at the Ben Franklin Parkway. You can see the flags whipping in the wind. The brutal cold is keeping the snow and ice around. Hard to imagine our temperatures are going to plunge even further, but that is exactly what is happening. So get ready. And as you head out for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day festivities, you better bundle up. Gray Hall is off today. Alicia Vittorelli joins us, and Chris Sowers is outside with more in AccuWeather. Cold out there, Chris.
Cold enough for you?
Oh, this is really, really bad. Normally I don't complain about the cold. This is really, really bad. Yesterday was cold. It feels 10 times worse this morning. We have a wind chill advisory that goes into effect later this afternoon, actually right around 9 o'clock this evening. That's when it goes into effect. It's for the entire viewing area. It'll remain in effect until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wind chill values as low as 5 above for the Jersey Shore, close to 0 for the I-95 corridor, 10 to 15 below for the Lehigh Valley, and as cold as 20 below up there in the Poconos. So here's how you have to dress, especially if you're heading to Lincoln Financial Field for that Eagles-Cowboys game. Bundle up in layers. I can't stress this enough. You need a base layer like long johns, and it's actually better, probably many of you don't understand this or realize this, but it's actually better to have 3, 4, maybe 5 thinner layers as opposed to just 2 thicker layers, because each layer insulates. It traps the body heat. So you want more layers, 4 or 5. You can't have enough layers today. Make sure you're covering the extremities, hat, gloves, and fleece socks. That'll do the trick here. Frostbite with temperatures this cold can set in within 25 minutes. Wind chill values already 1 above in Philadelphia, 2 above in Allentown, 17 below in the Poconos, 4 below in Reading, and 2 above in Trenton. Forecast for today, lots of sunshine, nice looking day, couple of clouds mixed in, but look at the temperatures. By noon, 17 degrees, by 2 o'clock, 19, and then by 4 o'clock, 18 degrees, coming off of that high, that icy cold high of 20. And as we look ahead, your headlines look like this. Bitter New Year's coming up here, wind chill values as we ring in the new year, again, close to 0 here in Philadelphia. Single digit lows for the next 2 nights, and believe it or not, for as cold as that sounds, it gets even worse by Friday and Saturday of this upcoming week. And I'll have those numbers for you, unfortunately, with the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Alicia?
All right, Chris, we have breaking news from Yeadon, Delaware County. This morning, fire has forced dozens of residents of an apartment complex into the bitter cold. The action cam was at the scene, the Forest Creek Apartments on the 300 block of North Front Street. Early this morning, residents of one building heard an explosion and they noticed smoke.
Around 2:30 in the morning, I started hearing like a lot of loud noises near my window. Yeah, it basically sounded like fireworks. And I'm just thinking like, nothing of it. The lights went out, so I'm like, well, maybe it's just something wrong with the electricity. I then began to light candles in my kitchen, and all of a sudden my neighbor's like banging on my door, and I'm like, this is something got to be wrong. And he's like, it's an electrical fire. So the generator went. Yeah, like it's bad. Nothing warned us. No smoke detectors. Nothing went off.
Well, firefighters quickly arrived. They ripped open part of the roof, searching for flames, and they found only smoke. Crews evacuated the building. They cut off power to the complex's other buildings. That, of course, means no heat. The Red Cross says 84 apartments have been evacuated here. Many residents sat in their vehicles. They stood outside, huddled under blankets until SEPTA buses came to take them to the warming center at Yeadon Borough Hall. Officials plan to restore power to other buildings sometime this morning. Investigators say a transformer box mounted on the front of one of the buildings there shorted out. That caused the fire.
And this is new video overnight of Philadelphia firefighters knocking down a fire at a former metal fabricator in Hunting Park. They got to work as temperatures felt well below freezing. The water they used quickly turned to ice. 2017 did indeed save the worst for last, socking us with a nasty flurry of punches, including snow, ice, wind, and the coldest air yet in the Delaware and Lehigh valleys.
And all of it, of course, slamming the area just in time for New Year's Eve revelry.
And even Eagles fans are affected too. They will spend much of the morning and afternoon out in the cold, tailgating and watching the Birds battle the boys. The Eagles did spend some of their practicing at the rink this week, to prepare themselves for the cold and the wind. The game time real field conditions will be among the coldest in Eagles history.
I think the big thing is just don't worry about it. Just go play ball, stay in the rhythm, get in the zone, get completions. I think the big thing in the cold weather is completions, but that's really football. Staying inside the chains that's part of the football game.
A win over Dallas today would give the Eagles 14 wins, the most in a season in franchise history. So the weather may be getting colder, but the Eagles have been a hot ticket. And as the Eagles game is wrapping up, some people will venture into the cold to witness the fireworks over the Delaware River. Workers are back on Penn's Landing this morning, setting up for the big show, one at 6 tonight, the other at midnight.
They have had to take more breaks, of course, than usual to avoid frostbite setting in. If you are heading out tonight, of course, put several layers on to stay safe and to stay warm. Some people are already staked out in New York City to see the ball drop. Now that's commitment to get a good spot, huh? It may be the coldest New Year's Eve in Times Square since 1917. As a precaution, the NYPD is now allowing patrol officers to wear knit hats, winter hats, instead of the traditional headgear. Everyone's got to stay warm. And of course, you can see New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest live tonight right here on 6 ABC. Coverage starts at 8 o'clock. You'll see some of the biggest names in music perform from coast to coast. Mariah Carey back for what she's calling Take Two there in New York City. Britney Spears in Las Vegas. It's going to be a great show. And of course, you can watch all of it from your warm home.
Sounds good to me. And the Mummers Parade is set to go on tomorrow despite the cold and windy conditions. 5 divisions of Mummers cast votes yesterday, narrowly approving the parade's green light. It is not only the performers and the spectators they have to keep in mind, but also the impact of the temperatures on their instruments.
Would you have been disappointed if you didn't play on New Year's?
Yeah, absolutely. When it's not that day, it's a little different, and then, if it's the week later, it's a whole nother week of suspension. You got to wait, and it drags out the process.
If you're planning to be at the parade in person, warming tents will be set up along the parade route.
And for a second year in a row, Patco passengers can ride for free for New Year's Eve into early New Year's Day from 8 o'clock tonight through 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Fare gates at all stations will be open. Patco officials hope the free ride will provide a safe transportation alternative for any of you who want to go out and enjoy those New Year's Eve festivities.
New this morning in Southwest Philadelphia, firefighters had to rescue a man from a burning house. The action cam was at the scene, the 6100 block of Lansdowne Avenue. When crews arrived a little after 3:40 this morning, they were told someone was trapped in the front bedroom on the 2nd floor. Firefighters ran a ladder to the bedroom window and worked their way through smoke and flames to reach the 43-year-old victim. They then carried him down the ladder. He is in critical condition at a local hospital. A firefighter is being treated at a hospital for a leg injury. Crews continue to pour water on that building. New this morning, a man is dead after his car ran off a Burlington County road and slammed into a tree. It happened on Borton Landing Road near Salem Road in Morristown just after 11 last night. Police say a man in his 60s was pinned in his vehicle after it hit the tree. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. No word yet on what caused the man to veer off the road.
Well, it doesn't take a big night like New Year's to find distracted drivers on the road. Most people die in car accidents year after year. So Consumer Reports is taking a look now at ways companies and drivers can keep all eyes on the road. Distracted can be a result of using your smartphone, in-car infotainment systems, or just controlling the temperature or talking to a passenger. It only takes a moment, but the result can be disastrous.